All right, we are back, and it is time for Innovation going up against Hurricane. Should be a pretty good match, I think, Wolf.
I think so, too. Honestly, Hurricane has really disappointed me since he joined Samsung, though.
Yeah.
He has not really performed very well. He's had some actually memorably terrible games where he just got outclassed by players. I believe he's not quite on the level of Innovation right now, obviously, but, you know, I really feel like this is just kind of a test for Innovation, almost like an appetizer or something to see what he can do here in this group.
You know, there was a point in time where, back when FXO was still around and actually still relevant, with, you know, when they were actually a good team, because there was a time where they fell off and just, it was like, no, FXO can't win anything. But at that time, a lot of the players were like, oh, Hurricane's the best Protoss in the world, seriously.
Yeah.
And he didn't really quite show up, but he had a few games where it was like, oh, wow, you're like really, really good.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always did like his PVT back then, so I'm hoping that, you know, maybe he's learned something extra on Samsung here. You know, the Samsung does have some extremely good players on it right now.
Yeah, definitely does, man. I feel like Innovation is definitely have to take him seriously here. It's definitely not going to be an easy win. It needs to stay focused. I think there's a lot of pressure on Innovation to return to his old form, because right now he's definitely not quite there. Once hailed the best Terran in the world. See if he can defeat this Protoss here on Nimbus, our second best of 3.
In the bottom left of our map, still one of the best Terrans. Not quite where he was, though.
Spacer Innovation.
Still rocking that Acer tag.
Yep. You know, to be fair, Innovation, like, all killed an entire team league, basically, and, like, it's... Oh, hold on, but over here, the Protoss way.
Samsung Galaxy Khan Hurricane.
You know, a lot of people are like, well, you know, Innovation just isn't where he's at. It's because he dominated the world too hard for like a couple months. Like, it was like actually silly how good he was.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's still one of the best Terrans. He definitely is still one of the best Terrans, right?
Yeah.
If you name right now from me, Wolf, in your opinion, as someone who watches and casts a lot of Korean StarCraft, top 6 Terrans in the world, is Innovation in it?
Yeah, I think
he has to be, right?
I think he might be like number 5 or number 6, but he's definitely in it, right? Like,
yeah, it's like... Right, Maru, Tai, Flash, Tasia, Innovation.
Also, I think you really have to give Byung. You have to give Byung.
Oh, of course, Byung. I'm always forgetting like one person. I guess you could mention Supernova.
Yeah, I feel like Cure has quietly gotten a lot better, but I wouldn't put him in the list yet.
And I gotta say, I do always really like Reality.
Yeah,
I do. I'm just a Reality fan.
I'm telling you, man, I don't know what your feelings are on this, but I actually think that Samsung is going to be one of the top 3 teams next season of Pro League. I feel like their team has developed so much.
Yeah.
They didn't quite make the cut for playoffs, but I feel like their team has developed so much, and they've got so much power now in their team and so much you know, room to work with, especially with players like Shine getting even better. You got Stork suddenly being a big powerhouse.
Yeah. They really have gotten a lot better. They've got you know, a really great coach on their hands. Their team has certainly improved. Oh,
Denmark.
Hi, guys. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for coming. We'd love to have you here.
But yeah, I definitely think Samsung is super coming up. I mean, we're seeing really all the teams coming up heavily, right? Because at first it was just SK and then KT, and then Jin Air started to join them, and then CJ started to get really good.
Yeah, CJ.
And here's Samsung coming up.
CJ came out of nowhere, man. Almost beat SKT.
Yeah. Thing is, the teams that weren't original Kespa, it hurts how hard of a time that they have sometimes, you know?
Yeah, well, they just don't have the same practice regimen. They don't have the same infrastructure, to be frank. So, looks like we're going to have 1 SCV left in gas here, so that's going to give them a little bit faster of a tech, but still gives them that extra minerals to get a fast eBay up here and get that early +1.
And, you know, Nimbus. How do you like Nimbus, Wolf?
I like it, but the 4th base does seem a little bit awkward sometimes in certain positions. For example, on this map, if you want to take a 4th base in these positions, let's just take the matchup and throw that out of the water, just no matter what matchup you're playing. You either have to take one really close to your opponent, or you have to take one that's kind of really far away from your base, especially in the case of bottom right now in this matchup for Hurricane. You know, if he's controlling the map, taking that 4th base that's far, is okay. Taking the 4th base close to Innovation, though, It can be a challenge. If you're innovation, well, where do you take your 4th base? The one that's like super far away?
Yeah, well, the thing is, if they do Zealot Warpins and stuff, you're just going to have a terrible time trying to defend that. So the 4th base definitely is a point of contention here.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting thing for matchups with Protoss in it on this map, though, is the fact that, yeah, of course, your natural's up the ramp, but the ramp going up into your main, your Nexus is really far away. So I feel like the Mothership Core is not quite as good on this map, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you can't just really kind of like patrol in the middle and be like totally fine.
It doesn't give you a free defense point at the front of everything.
True.
Just almost free.
The main base on this map is, you know, it's pretty big, as you can see here. It's kind of like, you know, there's a lot of surface area to work in with drops if you can get that in there.
Yeah, that's quite right. We see actually a lot of people tech up quickly on this map for harassment. By the way, this Reaper really did his work.
Oh, he certainly did.
Like, seriously, the fact that he actually got to see that Stargate is really nice when there was already a Stalker and Mothership Core out.
Yeah, it's really important. It's actually a really tough map to scout on, too, because getting to the back door is, like, really hard. I almost feel like it was almost a mistake by Hurricane, but, I mean, the micro on the Reaper was really good to get in there. Now he's going to come over with this Oracle. Because there are already 2 turrets up and the Marines are ready, shouldn't get too many kills, but we have seen some crazy things happen with Oracles before.
I would say, you know, as long as he keeps the Oracle alive, that's going to be a good result for him here. There's way too much defense, like.
Yeah.
But you really want to keep the Oracle alive. If you lose that Oracle, your scouting goes down the tubes, right? Because if you have the Oracle, you're not going to make as many observers. If you have the... Oh, my God! If you have the Oracle, your Robo's behind anyways. You've got to keep it alive so you can actually scout what's coming in.
Yeah, he actually makes a Phoenix now. That's going to help against drops. We've seen this build a lot of players like Byung-Shik in the past. Even stats sometimes favoring this build to just get this Oracle out, harass a little bit with it, and then have that Phoenix to shut down drops. This Oracle is pretty much trapped almost indefinitely if he sends a few more Marines to the south because there's no more dead airspace to work with, so that's really unfortunate. And he does send those Marines down there to block, so I don't think this Oracle is getting out anytime soon. No,
he's going to have to sit tight for a bit. I guess at least it makes it so he knows where those Marines are as long as he pops in every now and then.
Yeah.
They probably should move out when it's time to attack, but I like the build overall by Hurricane, even though he hasn't gotten much with it. 1 kill so far. But, I mean, it seems to make sense, Phoenix Colossus on this map, right? Because your natural is going to be so droppable, especially in these positions.
Yeah. And there's so much, you know, say to the left of the natural, there's so much airspace there that's dead. So if you catch the drop with, say, 3 Phoenixes, it's going to be hard for them to actually drop Marines out to save it.
That's true.
You might be able to kill it in that time if it takes any sort of Stalker damage beforehand.
All right, well, are you one of these guys that likes like a lot of Phoenixes, or do you like to just follow up with 3 to 4 Phoenixes?
I'm like a 4 to 5 Phoenix guy.
Okay.
No more than 5. If you go more than 5, then it's really easy to just counter that as the Terran. Really nice spot here, by the way, on this Oracle. Gets a few extra kills and should escape, and now he's actually free to just totally escape and run away. He's out into that safe zone now. 2 drops here will be spotted by not only an Observer, but also a Zealot. And those Phoenixes are on standby here. He probably wants to bring the Mothership Core over as well. There it is. Shut down hard.
Yeah, a really nice shutdown there. But was Innovation really thinking that this would do damage? Because, well, I guess, you know, this was probably more to pull Nexus Cannon damage, like Mothership Core energy, I guess is what I meant. Because on 2 bases, which he sees his opponents on 2 bases, you can't expect drops to do that much.
No, not really. He didn't have any idea there were going to be Phoenixes either. So with this many, you know, Marines, even if there's a Nexus Cannon, as long as you keep your medevacs back, you might be able to get some probes and pull out and escape. But with the Phoenixes there, absolutely not going to happen.
Well, with the Phoenixes there, I would say that he basically can't do any more drops. I think he needs to really consider just making another command center here.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he's hoping to achieve off 2 base like this because, I mean, there are Colossi coming out. He may try to do that SCV pull, but
I think he basically is, right?
I mean,
he's got 2 Stargates already, 2 Starports rather already.
The micro on these Phoenix is pretty nice. He's just trying to get any damage done to these, you know, flying units that he can, picking off some Marines, just keeping the army size low. He can take the 3rd base to the right side of the map. That's exactly what he's doing, in fact, as I say that, because now he has enough Colossi to deal with this mostly Marine army. He's got Phoenixes to help deal with the Vikings. May want to even make some cannons, actually, if he scouts anything coming across the map.
Well, you know, he kind of got some scouting done already, but if he could get any more, I think I would make a battery of cannons, because this looks like such an obvious 2-base all-in. With he has 5 Raxes, okay? And if you go 5 Raxes into a 3rd base, it's like 5 Raxes and then a command center very quickly thereafter. But he's also got 2 starports.
Yeah.
So, like, there's no way he's just going to put down a 3rd Nexus at some point. Or a 3rd command center. He is going to go for a big attack, and it's going to be ridiculously hard to stop.
He's going to have a lot of those barracks, by the way, 3 of them have tech labs, so it's going to be very Marauder heavy. And he's got 3 Vikings at a time, like you said, with the 2 starports, plus 2's coming out, and the +1 for the Vikings will be done. So this is a very scary attack, and looks like +1 armor will just barely be done in time here for Hurricane, so that's really important.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. He is going to have, I believe, 4 Colossus when this one pops out. Oh, that is a great tag.
That is like... Innovation's got to feel like he's been spotted with his pants down or something right now, because this is now super obvious. He's even going to make a little bit of a wall here with some extra gateways, not only for the wall but for the production. But look at the army supply. This is an all-in if I've ever seen one. He's massed up a ton of units. It's a great timing attack. This is what Innovation was known for when he was beating Protosses back in Wings of Liberty, or rather back at the beginning of Heart of the Storm, excuse me. 110 to 72,
yeah.
40 army supply up, plus the SCVs add really about 20 or so army in there.
It's pretty crazy, man. This is a really hard to stop attack. Something Artosis loses to on the ladder all the time.
He just needs some force fields here to buy time.
Yeah, he certainly does. He needs to throw down a wall of force fields, get these gates up. Oh, he's got to keep his Colossus alive. He actually engages with the force fields sitting there.
Oh, this is looking so bad for Hurricane. There's just way too many Vikings here. Gets caught in an awkward spot. There's just so many Vikings, and there's no Stalkers. It's not enough Phoenixes. And this army is going to get crushed. The Colossi die before they can really even fight the army. They kill SCVs only, but the rest of these Marauders, even reinforcing Vikings from the left.
Wow. That was a one-sided slap down right there, Wolf. But you know what? This is a very hard all-in to stop. And Hurricane didn't quite read it correctly, right?
Yeah.
Like, he never saw a 3rd command. I guess he didn't see the 2nd Stargate, technically, but he got his Oracle out and really wasn't scouting quite enough, I guess. Because if you see that he has no command center here, you can just make cannons or something, because you're going to die with the build he did. Like, you are just going to die.
It's, I mean, he takes the 3rd base, so it's greedy. He doesn't have any cannons up at all. I really feel like cannons were the right answer here had he known what was coming.
Yeah, they're like they're a last-ditch effort, but this would have had to be last-ditch. Like, he just didn't open with the right tech. You know, he went up to the 4 or 5 Phoenixes and then stopped that and tried to get into normal stuff, and it's like, nope. You know, Innovation has you countered.
I don't know the map that well yet. Do you think the Nexus cannon from the 3rd base could have hit the units if there were force fields? You know, if they're trapped below the ramp? I don't know if that would have reached.
I think they would have reached like the ones on the side that are overlapping with the ramp. I don't think it actually covers the ramp itself.
Because in this situation, I almost feel like it's without cannons impossible to hold this, because he can't make enough stock to deal with the Vikings, and even if he just blocks with force fields perfectly, like the Vikings are still just going to ignore his sentries and his Nexus cannon and kill the Colossi.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do? Once the force fields run out, you're dead.
Yeah.
It was just a lack of scouting there.
The truth of the matter is, if you don't have Storm there, you need something very special. Whether you never stopped making Phoenixes or you added a bunch of cannons, something like that, because Innovation is super all in there. So if you just hold that attack,